Come here, Alexa. Please wake up. I know the last time we spoke, it wasn't exactly on the best of terms. But I know there's still good in you. I just want the old Come here, Alexa back.
Aaron, I'm afraid she won't be waking up anytime soon. Not until we figure out what's causing the sleep-type coma.
Well, what do you think it is? I mean, do you think it has anything to do with what she mentioned at the end of her match? Trish Zuzu?
I did my research and came to the conclusion that Trish Zuzu more than likely is a form of a demon, but I can't seem to find any more info. I am sorry, Aaron. I will keep researching.
Thanks, Secretary Stase. I'll catch up with you later. I'm not going to leave Comer, Alexa. What the? Who would be knocking on my door at this hour? I don't own a watch. It's late! Who is it? Lights burn out. Hello? Nobody there. What was that? Oh, Queen Diva Marie, wherever you are, I told you. This display cabinet is for B-Fab's jacket only, not for you and Dexy to be canoodling in. You're making a mess every time you try to get there. Well, at least I know what that sound was. Oh God. I locked the door. Oh my God. How? I need to check on Comer, Alexa. Oh my God! Help! Help!
Aaron, what is the matter?
Oh! Secretary Stase, I saw something in Comer Alexa's room. It was behind the curtain. It looked like a demon. Please go check for me.
I don't see anyone or anything back here.
No, that can't be. It was right there. It was right there. I don't know what's going on with all the crazy things happening in LumberJillville, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what to do.
I do. I am here to help you.
Okay, and who are you? And why you talk like that?
I am Scarlet the Witch.
The Scarlet Witch?
No, Scarlet the Witch. I am the key master of the magic cabinet.
Oh, wait. What happened to Boogie the Witch Doctor? I thought he was the master of the cabinet keeper person.
I'm afraid he has perished at the hands of the same demon who is trying to take over Comer Alexa's body.
Okay, well, this is weird to be honest with you, but compared to what's going on, this is pretty mild. So I think we'll take all the answers and help we can get. So I want you to pull up a chair and explain to us what's going on.
Gather the others. I need everyone here to explain.
Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now before we get started, I just want to remind you to please hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV and get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews like today's, a very exciting review of Charlotte Flair from WWE Survivor Series 2023 Elite. Now, I'm a huge fan of Charlotte. That's no surprise to anyone that watches the channel. I have all of her figures. Haven't done a figure history yet of hers, and that's because she still has some figures coming out here in the future, including this one. So I wanted to cover these first, and then maybe down the road we will cover all of her figures released. But either way, I'm really excited to take a closer look at this figure. It's very unique and really does look awesome. So that being said, let's take a closer look at this figure, starting with the packaging. Alright, so starting off with the packaging here, let's just take a minute and soak this in, because the future lineups coming out have been shown MOC, and that includes Elite 105, that WrestleMania Elite Series, and the Royal Rumble Elite Series, and it all has that new style Elite packaging that minimizes the plastic on the front. So basically we get half a window, right? It's kind of the waist up is what it shows, and then there's a lot of cardboard involved. Now I understand why they're doing that, to try to minimize plastic, but I feel like there's other ways around it that could be better. But either way, I mean, as far as I know, this is the last Elite Series that we're getting, at least for a while, that has this nice open window, and I think it looks great. I think it looks really cool. I love that we can see the whole figure here holding up the title. I think they displayed Charlotte nicely in there. Really, really cool. Now, the one thing I don't like, and this is how it is with these exclusive Elite lines, is we have the Build-A-Figure cardboard tab on the front for the British Bulldog, and I just think that's an eyesore. I really wish it was like a sticker or something you could remove, but it's not. It's just there. At least his legs are kind of hidden behind Charlotte's image there, so it doesn't really stand out too much if you're displaying this figure MOC, but either way, that really drives me nuts. I mean, it's going to be real interesting when the Nicholas series comes out, but we'll get to that later. But looking at the packaging itself, you know, I love these exclusive kind of offshoot Elite lines like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and Survivor Series, because they usually have unique style packaging, and I love that. And this does not disappoint. This is really, really cool. We have the Survivor Series logo up top. We have this blue and red trim, kind of like a neon light going around. And then we have this camo base pattern, which looks awesome with some fence integrated in there. And this camo is kind of inspired by the Survivor Series War Games they did last year, and I just think it looks awesome. I'm glad I got two of these. I'm definitely going to keep one MOC because this just looks great. I think it looks really, really cool. Image of Charlotte on the front, image of Charlotte on the side. Oh boy, and an image on the back. Now I say oh boy because look at this robe. Look at this robe. Like, hey, Mattel, how about you give Charlotte a robe? You only gave her a robe in two of her figures, and that's kind of what she's known for, right? So, yeah, we'll get to that later in the figure review, but why did they not include this robe? Ugh. But we do have this really cool image of Charlotte on the back. The beautiful Charlotte Flair, very talented, very amazing, maybe the GOAT. We have a little bio here, and then we have career highlights, and then we have the Queen represented Friday Night SmackDown as its champion against Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch at Survivor Series 2021. And we'll get into that in the next segment here. So, yeah, this figure looks awesome, MOC, honestly. And as I mentioned, don't get used to this big open bubble because future Elite Series coming out are really minimizing that plastic on the front. But with that being said, I'm going to open this up and let's take a closer look. WWE Survivor Series 2023 Elite Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog's legs. This is... What am I doing here? WWE Survivor Series 2023 Elite Series Charlotte Flair. This attire is from the 2021 Survivor Series Premium Live event that took place on November 21st from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. On this night, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch would defeat SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair in a champion versus champion match. So my overall first impressions of this figure are really, really good. Now, when I first saw images of this figure, I was a little confused with how plain the attire was, why they would go with that in Elite Series. But they actually really went the extra mile with little intricate details in sculpting that really makes this figure better than just solid. It's a pretty awesome Elite figure in my opinion. So I am very pleased with that. However, there's a big glaring issue that I'm not pleased with. Where is her robe? This is an Elite figure. They've included robes and soft goods in so many Elite figures in the past. Not so much of hers. She's only had one Elite figure with the robe, and she's had an Ultimate Edition with the robe. But Charlotte's known for her robe, so why? Why did we not get the robe here? I just don't understand it. You would think because that attire is pretty simple, there's not a whole lot of tooling involved, that we would get that robe, and we just don't. So that's really disappointing in my opinion. I think they missed the mark quite a bit with chances to include the robe. You know, we saw that in Elite 92, no robe. So it's just really disappointing more than anything. But if we're looking at the figure itself, I do think this is a pretty excellent looking Elite. I can't wait to take a closer look at all the little intricate details, which we will do here soon. But first, let's cover the accessories. So she does come with semi-grasping hands with nails painted blue. She also comes with her signature pose hands with the nails painted blue as well. And then we have the SmackDown Women's Championship, and this is in that smaller scale, just like the Elite Series 100 that came with Becky Lynch. And it fits much better on the women's figures. It looks excellent. Now, my one complaint here is we don't have custom side plates, which is disappointing. I thought they were going to start doing that. You know, the Championship Showdown 2-packs still have the custom side plates on that, so that might be the only way to do that. I don't know. But either way, I really wish it had the Charlotte Flair custom side plates here, especially because on this night, this figure she was representing SmackDown, defending SmackDown's honor. And yeah, so the good news is you can put this with any figure and it won't be an eyesore because it does have generic side plates. But yeah, so it's nice that we get the SmackDown Women's Championship. Nice that we get the extra hands. But where in the world is the robe? So as far as the face sculpt, face scan, and hair sculpt goes, I really think they knocked it out of the park here. Now, this face sculpt and scan was used in Elite 92, but I think it's excellent. I think it's dang near perfect. It really captures her likeness. I love that she has a little arrogant smile there, and I can't say enough good about the scan and sculpt. I think it just looks spot on great. Now, what makes this figure stand out is this new unique hair sculpt that she wore this night. Now, it's kind of funny because this isn't exactly a look she had for an extended period of time, so it is really cool that we did get that unique hair sculpt that she had on that night. She has her blonde hair straight going down her back, very long, and then we have these two braided pieces in the front. Now, I will say my other one that I have is MOC, and it's like this in the package. So I didn't open it up, and I'm not going to, so I'm not sure if, open up, it falls, but it might be stuck like that, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, I think the hair sculpt, the face scan, and face sculpt is dang near perfect. Now, moving on down to the body sculpt and the attire, once again, I think they did an excellent job with not only the part choices, but also the unique detailing and sculpting that they put into this figure. Like I said, when you look at images of this figure, you say, oh, she's just in plain black attire. But I really do think they put the little intricate details in here to make it a quality Elite. Now, taking a closer look, at the top here, there's a lot of sculpting going on in this completely new, unique sculpted top. The straps are sculpted. This top is sculpted. It even has a little sculpted pattern that's really hard to tell on camera. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. But it is a sculpted design, and that's a really cool feature. It's also really cool that we see the metallic silver paint painted on very intricately on those straps and around the collar on her neck. It really does pop and stand out. It looks great. Now, moving on down to the bottoms here. They are just a plain black painted on with a little silver design, but they look really cool. That silver design goes around the back, metallic silver. We have plain black knee pads. We have black sleeves going into these black boots with the Charlotte Flair logo in metallic silver. And then the feet, which we'll get to in the articulation segment, are the Ultimate Edition feet. But either way, her nails are painted blue on the semi-grasping hands here. She has, let's see, yep. She has her little tattoo. Let's see if we can get a little patience right there. And then we have the tattoo on the side there. And then we have the partial tattoo over here. And yeah, I think as far as the body sculpt and attire goes, I think they did an excellent job. You know, like I said, they chose a pretty basic attire to go with, but I think the extra details in the sculpting, especially on the top, and then the little silver intricate paint details really make this a pretty dang excellent Elite. Alright, so I just want to do a little side-by-side comparison between some notable figures of hers. Now, I do have all of Charlotte Flair's figures, and like I said, in the future, I'd like to do a figure history. She's got a lot of really unique and cool ones, but I wanted to put what I think are the 3 best Charlotte Flair figures right in front of us so we can kind of compare. So on the far left, we have Elite Series 92 that was released about 2 years ago. In the middle, we have that Ultimate Edition Series 6, which once again was released a couple years ago, and then on the right, we obviously have that Survivor Series Elite today. Now, in my opinion, all 3 of these figures are excellent figures. I think they're really fantastic. Now, if you ask most people, I'd say most collectors will say that the Ultimate Edition is the end-all, be-all Charlotte Flair, and I really can't argue with them, and the main reason is we get this really awesome pink robe, y'all. We get a robe. We get a robe with a Charlotte. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not too crazy about the hair sculpts in these. I think it looks a little weird. The hair kind of looks like, I don't know, Duke Nukem or something with a mullet. The hair kind of bothers me. I don't think it's the best hair sculpt, in my opinion. But this figure is excellent. The attire is really cool, how it kind of fades from pink to red. And the reason I'm showing you this MOC is because I do have another one, but it is my daughter's. My little girl has it. So, you know, I don't know where she placed it, but it is hers, so I just wanted to show you my MOC one so you can kind of get a whole effect of everything that this figure comes with, because this is an excellent figure. And like I said, it's very debatable if it is the best Charlotte Flair figure. Now, is it my favorite? It actually is not my favorite Charlotte Flair figure, because it's going to come down to these two. Now, this Elite Series 92 figure was awesome. We had that sculpt and scan, that hair, and then the attire was like a metallic purple, and we got this women's tag team title, which was really cool, but we didn't get a robe, and that was a complaint at the time. Much like today's figure, this figure is also excellent and does not come with a robe, but what we do get here is a SmackDown Women's Championship that is in a smaller scale. You can't tell, you know, that's the only thing with the smaller scale is the side plates are too big. The side plates are too big, and because of that, you really can't get it to fit around her and look good. If you make it tight enough, those side plates end up wrapping around in the back. So, yeah, it's kind of wonky, this title here. Hopefully, they shrink down the side plates to kind of adjust the scaling with that main center plate. So, boy, if you had to go with the one Charlotte Flair figure in your collection, I would say go for the Ultimate Edition. The only problem is it's very, very expensive on the secondary market right now. I think it's close to $100 or over. So that's the only catch. But if you don't want to spend that kind of money, or if you want a nice alternative, I think both of these, both today's and Elite 92, are excellent choices, and I would say they're tied, honestly. I think they're very cool and unique in their own ways, but either way, they are excellent Elite figures. Alright, it's articulation time, y'all. So the head can move down, okay, can look right, okay, can look at left, okay, can't really look up. So this hair sculpt is really cool. I think it's beautiful how long it is. I think that's great, but it does limit a lot of head movement here. We have that shoulder on a ball joint, can move in all different directions. We have an upper bicep swivel. We have double jointed elbows, which allows maximum flexion. We have a little heart tattoo there. I didn't cover that earlier. Okay, anyway, we have a wrist that can swivel, can also extend and flex. We have that upper torso swivel, can move in all different directions. Great articulation there. We have a waist swivel. The hip is on a ball joint, can move in all different directions. We have an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, which really are not inhibited much by the knee pads, which is cool. And then we have an upper boot swivel. The ankle can rock down and up, and it also has the Ultimate Edition toe joint. Now, this is because the uniquely sculpted boots were used on her Ultimate Edition, and we have seen these Ultimate Edition boots put on her recent Elites. So, I guess it's cool that we get extra articulation, but I really cannot stand this toe joint. I think it's pointless, and a lot of times if it's loose, it's just a sad look. That's just a sad foot, y'all. That foot has seen some things, and it's just sad. So I'm not a fan of that, but you know what? That's okay. I'd rather have that than basic articulation. So as far as the articulation goes, excellent. So overall, I give WWE Survivor Series 2023 Elite Charlotte Flair an overall score of a 9 out of 10. This is a fantastic Elite figure and really does Charlotte Flair justice. Now I know, like I mentioned, images online and even MOC images on the website, they don't look that appealing, but when you take a look at this figure up close, the attention to detail here is astounding. I love the unique hair sculpt. I love that the attire, although it's plain, it has a lot of intricate detailing to the sculpting and the paint application, and it really makes this figure shine. I also really love the inclusion of the scaled down SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, in my opinion, this figure would be a perfect 10 out of 10, no questions asked, if we got that robe included. I don't understand why we don't get more Charlotte Flair robes. This is an Elite figure. This would be a perfect time to give her a robe. We did get a couple in the past that I showed you. However, she deserves to have more robes. I mean, we see some of these wrestlers that are released that come with robes that really don't need them. And Charlotte, that's her thing. So I honestly think this would be a contender for Figure of the Year and a perfect 10 out of 10 if it included that robe. But overall, I really do suggest that you go to ringsidecollectibles.com and order the Charlotte today because I think it is that good. And as I mentioned, pictures just don't do it justice. I love the Charlotte Flair figure. It might be my favorite Charlotte in my collection. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. For our first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, make sure to hit subscribe and become an official resident of LJV today. Also, head on over to ringsidecollectibles.com and use coupon code LJV at checkout to save 10% on your next order of women's wrestling figures. Now stay tuned, there's a lot of future figure reviews and JILL-O-WEEN content coming out all October long. Thanks for watching and have a great night, y'all.